Hello everyone. If you are Syrian happy Independence Day to your anniversary, when Syria was freeform, Bashar al-Assad fled as a guy who controlled Syria since 25 years now after his dad passed away, and after the Syrian soldiers won against Bashar al-Assad, he fled to Moscow, Russia, where his family was exiled. If you are from Syria, like and subscribe.
Bashar al-Assad has fallen and Syria is free now, with the American-backed rebels reportedly arriving in Damascus before HTS, and they began liberating the place. Meanwhile, Assad fled like a dog, so his forces surrendered immediately, and they've started freeing political prisoners and tearing down his statue. With it appearing after 25 years in power and a 15-year civil war, the Arab Spring finally claiming its last big name. And Assad was a dictator. He ran a police state that tortured, killed, and imprisoned anyone who dreamed of a Syria without him. He burned down his country to stay in power, destroying entire cities, gassing his own people, and killing hundreds of thousands of Syrians to keep his regime in place. The future will be difficult for Syria, and it is uncertain where the country goes now, but it is finally free from its dictatorial family. Assad fled to some unknown place. He could be in Moscow or the UAE. There are rumors his plane even crashed. But for now, I'll say subscribe to stay in the loop.
Update is in Moscow, Russia offered him asylum.
Leaders who ousted Bashar al-Assad say that they've begun the process of forming a transitional government, and the current prime minister says he's assisting the transfer of power. The rebels say their forces have established order across almost all of Damascus, and that they've granted an amnesty to military personnel who were conscripted into service by the Assad regime. Our correspondent Yogita Limai has been assessing the mood in the Syrian capital.
A jubilant people poured into the capital's central square for a second day. A street party-like atmosphere. This might seem like a dangerous way to celebrate, but not in a country that has endured years of bombs and bullets, finally rid of a brutal dictator.
Anyone who wants to celebrate is coming here to the central square in Damascus. Every couple of minutes we're hearing celebratory gunfire. The ground here literally strewn with bullets which have been fired. And it's not just members of the rebel group HTS, it's lots of civilians. I've seen women, children bringing their families along.
Stories of horror too easily found amidst this joy. Mohammed Batar is 45, but looks older because he has no teeth. He says Bashar al-Assad's soldiers broke them because he belonged to a rebel militia. They also cut off part of his tongue and gave him mice to eat in prison. We are the people of Damascus, he says.
Family controlled Syria with an iron fist for 53 years. Bashar al-Assad took power in 2000 after his father Hafez had been in control since the 1970s. Jeremy Bowen has more on the family dynasty that was once all-powerful and ruthless against its enemies.
Bashar al-Assad inherited the regime when his father Hafez died in 2000, who in 30 bloody years since seizing power had jailed and killed tens of thousands, anyone who threatened his rule. After he buried Hafez al-Assad, Syrians hoped Bashar, trained as a doctor in London, would reform and modernize the country. So did Tony Blair and other Western leaders. Blair went to Damascus in 2001.
President of Syria and Mrs. al-Assad.
A year later, Bashar al-Assad and his wife Asma, who grew up in London, paid a call on the Queen. Assad never delivered change, and even when thousands and then millions of Syrians demanded the fall of the regime after 2011, the year of the Arab uprisings, he might still have saved the country from war by embracing reform. But instead of that, Bashar al-Assad went to his rubber-stamp parliament in March 2011, declared foreigners were conspiring to destroy Syria, and effectively declared war on any Syrian who opposed him. In the first few years of the war, we were able to cross into the large rebel-held areas of the Damascus suburbs from the regime side. The rebels were in range of central Damascus but could never break through. The regime survived those years because some Syrians supported it in Damascus. These were Alawites from the same sect as the Assads. Despite their loyalty, Assad also needed Iran, fighters of Lebanese Hezbollah. Syrian Christian militias fought for the regime against al-Qaeda rebels in the ancient town of Malula in 2013, augmenting the Syrian Arab army. For some Syrians, especially minorities, it seemed like a choice between Assad and the jihadist killers of Islamic State and other extremist groups. By August 2013, losing ground, Assad used chemical weapons against rebel-held suburbs of Damascus. It was a turning point in the war. The Americans backed down from a threat to bomb the regime. The Russians, sensing an opportunity, intervened to save it, and Assad believed he'd made the Americans blink first. In February 2015, I had an exclusive interview with Bashar al-Assad. I asked him about bombing civilians. He was defiant, denied it, and even tried a joke.
What about barrel bombs? You don't deny that your forces use them.
I know about the army. They use bullets, missiles, and bombs. I haven't heard of army using barrels or maybe cooking pots.
Large barrels full of explosives and projectiles which are dropped from helicopters and explode with devastating effect. There's been a lot of testimony about these things.
They're called bombs. We have bombs, missiles, and bullets.
A year later, the Russian Air Force had flattened the side of Aleppo held by rebels, a display of destructive power that sharpened President Putin's appetite to absorb Ukraine. Many of the rebels who lived here and in other enclaves were permitted to leave for Idlib province. In Idlib, they created the fighting force that has finally destroyed the Assad regime. Syria was the beating heart of Arabism. He must have hoped that rehabilitation was sealing his victory. Instead, when the rebels pushed out of Idlib, his regime collapsed in less than a fortnight.
Cheering filled the streets of Hama as thousands of Syrians rallied to celebrate the first anniversary of Bashar al-Assad's fall. 1 year ago Friday, rebels led by Syria's now president Ahmed al-Shara took control of Hama before capturing Damascus and toppling the al-Assad family's more than 50-year rule on December 8th. The rebel victory brought particular liberation to Hama, which suffered a brutal crackdown under former President Hafez al-Assad in 1982. The Syrian Network for Human Rights estimates that in the massacre, the government killed between 30 and 40,000 people.
Today, all of Syria is celebrating Hama's victory over the tyrant Bashar al-Assad, his henchmen, and the remnants of the regime. We stand with the leader, President al-Shara.
Although the anniversary is cause for celebration, the impact of al-Assad's rule, and particularly the 2011 Syrian civil war, remain deeply felt in cities like Homs. Across the country, drinking water and electricity are rarities, and in many areas, unemployment is at 90%. Since the war, 200,000 Syrians have been reported missing. Today still, of the approximately 6 million Syrian refugees who fled during the war, only a small fraction have returned to find a country forever changed.
I funded this that people knew in 3, 2, 1, 0.
الشعب السوري بالساحات للمجد بيرفع رايات عم يهتف بثلاث كلمات الله وسوريا وبشار كنيسة وجامع متحدين والمحطي عنوان الدين وملايين شعبي بتحبوا مين؟ ردوا بالصوت ملايين، ما بدنا إلا بشار. رح ننتخبك يا بشار. بدنا نحكي بدنا نقول، بدنا أبو حافظ عاطول، والشعب السوري مسؤول وبيعرف مين بيختار. رح ننتخبك يا بشار. الشعب السوري ايد بايد نعمر سوريا من جديد. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويا بشار ويا كذاب وتضرب انت وهالخطاب الحريه صارت على الباب. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويا بشار ويا كذاب وتضرب انت وهالخطاب الحريه صارت على الباب. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويا ماهر ويا جباني ويا عبيد الامريكان، الشعب السوري ما بينهان. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويا ماهر ويا جبان ويا عبيد الامريكان، الشعب السوري ما بينهان. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويا بشار ويا كذاب وتضرب انت وهالخطاب الحريه صارت على الباب. ويلا ارحل يا بشار. ويلا ارحل يا بشار.
Hey guys, if you like this Syrian anniversary video, like and subscribe.